next year, as you mentioned earlier, we will be spending 4.5 billion for the broadband. Okay? So,
Yes, Mr. President.
ating gagastusin tong 4.5 billion. So, meron ng landing facility na nasa Paler yung isa, nasa La Union yung isa. Tama?
Yes, Mr. President.
So, this budget na 4.5 billion, ididikit ba yan sa Baler at sa La Union?
May pagdaluyan.
Yes, Mr. President. Para may in Tagalog, may mapagdaluyan ang internet going towards
highway. Ididikit yan sa highway, di ba? Parang ganun yun.
yes, Mr. President.
International gateway ka na, now mid-mile na tayo, ididikit yan. So saan gagastos yung 4.5 billion? Mula Baler, papunta saan? Mula La Union, papunta saan?
Papuntang National Capital Region, Region 3, Region 4A, Region 4B, Region 8, Mr. President.
Okay. So let's start with papuntang capital region. So basically Luzon. But isn't it that Luzon already has the highest access to the internet? So hindi siya underserved, hindi siya unserved.
Pero yung government agencies, bumibili tayo ng internet from the telcos. Yun yung ginagastos natin. With this,
The explanation, Mr. President, is that the government agencies here in located at the National Capital Region are
provide ng internet and ICT.
buying internet from the telcos
At commercial rate.
at commercial rate. So if ma-serve na ito ng ating National Broadband Program, then
Genuine savings. Government
malaking savings po sa ating gobyerno, Mr. President.
Magkano magiging savings sa gobyerno?
Magkano?
layo. Kasi we're buying it at about $10. With this, nasa mga mag-average lang ng mga 57 cents per Mbps. $10 per Mbps, magiging 57 cents per Mbps.
The picture is like this, Mr. President. Right now, we are buying $10 per Mbps. But with our National Broadband Program, from $10, we will be spending about 57 cents per Mbps, Mr. President.
Okay, so let me try to understand the business model. Okay, so DICT will make it cheaper for government. Government,
Total
to buy
Yes.
internet access or internet service. Is that correct?
Correct, Mr. President.
Okay, so not necessarily si Juan de la Cruz
No.
household, but
No, Mr. President.
Tama
It's
ba?
government offices.
Government offices. Okay, so
Yes.
in effect, government will be buying from the DICT.
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes.
Okay, so government will no longer buy from the private telcos. That's the idea.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. President.
Okay, and how much is the telecommunication expense of the government?
Around the estimated annual government spending on internet is around 5 billion, Mr. President. 5 billion pesos annually.
Okay. And magiging magkano yun?
So,
Bibili pa rin tayo internet, pero mas yung tubig, bibilin pa rin natin. Pero hindi na tayo magbabayad doon sa piping. 57 cents.
malaki po ang ibababa nito, Mr. President, because as earlier presented is that from $10 per Mbps na binibili natin ay magiging 57 cents na lang. So ang magiging effect nito sa actual na binabayaran natin sa internet is napakalaki, Mr. President. Hindi ko lang mabigay yung exact computation.
Yes, so dapat alam ng DICT kung sinasabi nila yun yung business model nila.
Halos mawawipe out yung 4.5.
Uh,
4.5 of the 5. Mawawipe.
yung 5 billion natin siguro, Mr. President, is halos yung spending na ito, yung government spending na 5 billion annually, ay halos mawawipe out ito. Baka,
The reason why I mentioned this is I remember that was the promise also of the NBMZTE deal.
Pero wala nga eh.
Okay, ganun din yun eh. Okay, dapat, I think that
That's the point.
what we should be doing is, halimbawa, there was a discussion kanina on the purpose of the DICT, among others, is to increase the internet penetration rate. Okay? So what can government do to assist, let's say, the private telcos?
Ito,
Instead of just competing with them, halimbawa, to improve our internet ICT penetration rate. Halimbawa, for example, kanina there was a discussion on towers.
magiging mo pa eh. Pero
So why doesn't the government invest, kung gobyerno ang gumawa ng mga tower, and then paupa na lang sa mga private companies, yung tower na yan.
pwede sila mo sanga.
Di ba? So that way,
Yes.
nakikinapang si Juan de la Cruz in the internet penetration.
Yun din ang
So there was a discussion earlier, no? That we need to have how many? 100,000 towers?
yes.
Again, let me reiterate, Mr. President, I think the major role of the DICT should be to assist our telcos instead of competing with them. Ito yung based on our exchange today in the interpellation, sinasabi nila, in the beginning I asked what is their business model and they said they do not plan to compete. But now they're saying, okay, we can offer cheaper internet service, well and good, and that they can provide services that even the private telcos will buy from them, well and good. But then they could not tell us if there will be an improvement in the internet penetration rate. Okay? I think what other countries are doing and what we should be doing is in areas na kung saan walang internet, dun sila magkabit so that more people will have access to the internet. Because as mentioned earlier, our penetration rate is roughly 60%, sabi nila. But based on international publication that I've read, we're something like 44% lang. Okay? And we're spending for this broadband 4.5 billion next year. We spent 1.8 billion last year. Okay? And we're continuously spending for this, and yet, bumababa na ba yung cost ng gobyerno sa telecommunications natin? Hindi ko nakikita yun, Mr. President.
I can feel it, Mr. President, as of now.
I'm sorry?
We can feel it, Mr. President, na bumaba ba?
Hindi dahil sa gobyerno, dahil sa pribado.
Yeah,
Not
kaya nga,
because-
Mr. President.
Not because of the national broadband. Di ba? Bumababa
Yes,
because of the competition, but not because of DICT.
Yes,
So,
Mr. President.
ang trabaho nila ay to give access to more people sa internet by interconnecting with the telcos. Yung last mile. Okay, one last question maybe to both the DICT and the National Communications Commission, no? NTC. Okay. Ang Kongreso nagpapasa ng mga prangkisa sa telecommunications at saka sa internet. Is that correct?
Yes, correct, Mr. President.
Okay. And today we have what? Maybe about 3 or 4 telco companies operating. Globe, Smart, Dito, and Converge. Is that correct?
Or major.
Yes, Mr. President, the 4 major telcos.
Okay. Yung Converge, isn't it that, and all these 4 companies I mentioned, hindi ba, and lahat sila may broadband, lahat sila may cable landing, ano? Okay. Ang mga prangkisa ba nito nationwide?
Yes, Mr. President.
Okay. So thank you. So finally, let me reiterate as well that sa tingin ko, what the DICT should be doing is to provide these investments in the last mile so that more people would have access to ICT services or the internet, no? And not to replicate, to do redundant investments in areas that there is already internet coverage or ICT services. Sayang lang. And that is the point that I'm trying to drive at, no? So like I said, one suggestion is, among many others, but one is, halimbawa, yung common pole agreement. Baka mamaya, kung gusto ng DICT, doon din sila mag-invest. Kikita pa sila dahil maglalagay ngayon, uupahan ngayon ng mga telco yan. That way, you have more internet access everywhere. Yun ang problema natin eh.
Yes, Mr. President. Right now, they are taking notes of the points that are being raised by the economic guru of this of the Senate.
And thank you for your kind words.
We
And
appreciate your points, Mr. President.
I thank the sponsor for being very candid and very ably in responding to our queries and in the budget of the DICT. I thank our colleagues, the Majority Leader, and the Senate President for giving me the opportunity. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much as well to our Senate President Pro Tem. As usual, we learned a lot from his interpellations.